Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and international best-selling author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 90 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. Now, you can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community, and never miss an episode by subscribing wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. Life Transformation Radio can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, Himalaya app, the Google Play Music app, Pandora, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Life Transformation Radio. We ask that you subscribe, rate, and review the show, and let us know how we're doing. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, and other amazing people who are impacting everyone around them. And my guest today has done exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, go ahead and call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please welcome to the show my guest for today, Catherine vanVonno. Catherine, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Yeah, hi, Sean. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited because this topic is discussed a lot in business and entrepreneur circles, whether someone's looking for VA or do I need one, do I not need one. So I think this is very timely during everything that's going on in the world to talk about what VAs do. Should we get one? Should we not get one? Just really dispel myths and really open it up to a conversation around the topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think a lot of people right now, well, there's two types of businesses happening right now. There's businesses that are aggressively hiring because they're in the PPE business or they're a business that have been shut down. So hopefully, we'll talk about both today and sort of see where we go with virtual assistants.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm very excited because this is a very, very timely topic. So the title of this episode is To VA or Not to VA with Catherine vanVonno. She is the president and CEO of 24/7 VA, one of the most trusted remote staffing companies. She oversees the overall growth and success of the company, leads the short-term and long-term strategies, and manages the company's finances. She also directs the management team when it comes to daily operations, brand management and marketing, client relations, strategic planning, and business development areas. While it is certainly a challenge to work with staff from all over the world, her positive attitude and progressive leadership style enabled her to overcome the hurdles and establish a thriving and solid relationship with her team of 40-plus talented individuals. On any given day, you'll find Catherine managing her global team of 40-plus right from her kitchen table, demonstrating one of the biggest perks of remote work. Before starting 24/7 VA, Catherine worked in the healthcare management industry. She has a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology and a Ph.D. in research and evaluation methods with a Cognate, Cognate, What's that? How do you pronounce that?
Cognate.
Because I don't know. Cognate. Obviously, I don't have a Ph.D.,
yes.
so yeah, I don't know. So I'm kind of being vulnerable right there. I mean, I just don't know what that means.
It's just a side
with
thing.
A cognate
it's a side gig. Yeah.
Got
it's just a side gig, Sean.
Got it.
Yeah.
In applied statistics from the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Her website is 204 FOUR, the number 7, and VA.com. That's very clever. 247VA.com. It's right there in the show notes. Her social media links, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are right there in the show notes. Connect with her on your favorite platform, letting her know that you listened to her episode of Life Transformation Radio. Now that I've stumbled over words and became vulnerable, I'd love to know what your why is for starting 24/7 VA. Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do it? Okay, so a couple of, I think for 2 reasons. I look at my company, 24/7 VA, as having 2 customers. One customer being our paying clients, but I want to pull in more paying clients because I want to help small business owners. I want to help them grow their business the way that I've been able to grow mine, and that's through affordable staffing solutions. And I'll explain more about that, but essentially I really want to help the mom and pops that are out there struggling, trying to make a living, entrepreneurs that can't necessarily afford local labor rates. Okay, so that's the one side of me. The other side of me is all about helping people. I am very passionate about helping people in underdeveloped countries find stable employment, for their families, having stable income, being able to put food on their table night after night and pay their bills, and provide education to their children. So providing jobs from U.S.-based employers is very important in some of these, for these individuals. And so, it's sort of a 2-pronged approach for me in terms of passion.
Love it. I love that you have a mission behind the mission. We talk a lot about social responsibility inside of businesses as entrepreneurs, and I know a lot of people are talking about social responsibility in 2020 and what that really means, especially with everything going on. And I like that because before it used to be, we start a business, just give 10% of proceeds to 501c3s and then capture hearts and minds. Mm-hmm. It's like, right. I guess I should do that to, kind of like part of the launch sequence, right? But like really to have a mission behind your mission, I think is absolutely incredible.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it's been my sustaining factor now for the past 6 years that I've been growing this company. So, and just the feeling of, when I have a client where their business is actually thriving because they've been able to hire affordable talent and been able to focus on things that enable them to increase their income. As well as having, I get messages all the time from people all over the world just saying thank you for the life that my company has provided them. So just really excited about that.
Amazing. And I know I've heard that VAs are amazing. I've heard that VAs are like, I don't really need one. I mean, I could do it all, whatever. So what I want to do is before we get into your transformational moment, let's just put this to rest. Do we VA or do we not VA?
I would say absolutely you VA. There's so many things that business owners can be doing right now. And these are the business owners that aren't the ones that are aggressively hiring. So if you think about it, what a VA is, is a VA is a person that has a particular skill set, and that skill set could be anything from basic data entry to iOS app development. I mean, it runs the entire spectrum. A VA is just a worker, a skilled worker that has a talent. So if you think about it, during this time where you may be experiencing, downtime, utilize it wisely. That's what I would say. Utilize it wisely. Look at a couple of things. Number one, digital presence. We all know that in a post-COVID world, you notice that little play on words there. Post-COVID world, we are going to be highly reliant on the internet, more so than we were prior. So as a business owner, take a look at your website. If you need a website facelift, hire a VA to help you get that done. If you don't have an online presence, hire a VA to create a website for you. So that would be, I can run through a laundry list if you'd like me to of different things that I feel. Yeah, sure. Okay, so website presence is one. Another thing would be, something that I always do in my downtime, because I just have extra time on my hands, is I rekindle relationships with my past and customers. But especially right now, if you're experiencing downtime, because people right now want to help other people more than, everybody has extra time right now. So now's the time to grab it. The getting's good. So reach out to your past customers, hire a VA to help you create a communication campaign, to reach back out to them, to tell them how important online reviews are right now. Please go online, create your online review profiles so that they can actually have an easy link to be able to go and leave you an online review. But definitely reconnect. That would be one thing I would tell business owners, and you can have a VA help you with that. You can also think there are some companies that obviously, have already staffed. They're paying their staff. Their staff may not be working right now, but relook at your organization. Look and see whether or not you can get more organized. So, you can hire a VA to come in and maybe work with your staff to try to create more, document the processes, digitize your files. But just getting organized right now would be, now that you have time, you have a breather, take advantage of it. And then, another thing, and this is something that a lot of people aren't thinking about, is that, and I'm experiencing it. I know my staff are, even though my staff are, around the world, they're still locked down as well. But cabin fever is a real thing. Have a mental check-in. Yeah, have a mental check-in with your staff. If they need some time off, and just to reconnect with their family, right now, we're reopening a variety of things. I'm in the state of Maryland. I know this weekend, restaurants, my kids are going back to work at some of the cafes here in town. But reconnect with your staff. If they need some time off, then hire a VA, let them work with them for a few days, just offload some tasks so that they can go and relax a little bit and get out and not be stressed and thinking about work. Know that they have somebody else that's, actually doing some of the work, so they're not going to come back to a pile of it either, and your business keeps working. But there's so many things that you can do right now in downtime that a VA can help with.
Sure. Yeah, I love that list. There's a lot that is like, now, I said it before, as a speaker, as a speaker coach, I did a lot of virtual summits before, but I've done a lot now, like a lot of virtual summits. And then I've done a lot of podcasts before. I've done a lot of podcasts now. There's ways to still get your message out and ways to still work. I've actually been thriving in my business. And everybody wants to talk about, you ever notice that when something happens, they're like, recession-proof your business, COVID-19-proof your business. Like, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like seriously, this has to be a thing. So for me, I don't know, I'm a serious entrepreneur. From the start, from the get-go, I'm already recession-proofing my business or COVID-19-proofing my business. Like, that should be built into your business anyways. What happens if there's a hurricane? What happens if there's a flood or tornado? I was in Utah in March, like a week before everybody was like, we're closing down. I was in Utah with the family, and we were in a 4.7. Couldn't have been a 5. Had to have been a 4. But anyway, we were in an earthquake in Utah for no reason. Like, I even know Utah got earthquakes, but we were like a legit like earthquake, shaking, rattling, almost rolled out of bed. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Kids are freaking out. We were on the 4th floor of a hotel room, and it is just shaking like crazy. And I'm like, no way is this happening right now. Like this is how the world's gonna end. We're gonna get sick, earthquakes, floods, we're done. Like, like, but here I am in the midst of all this, and I'm like, and my wife was like, hey, do you need to call anybody? Do you need to? I'm like, no, I got a couple of people I can contact and text, but yeah, they're handling it. Like, we had projects to do, we had clients to call, we had Zoom meetings, like, I just call and make sure everything's running okay. But that's already been set aside. Like, a disaster plan has already been set in motion, at the start of your business. Like, you don't build a house and not get house insurance. You don't have a car and not get car insurance. Like, that's the first thing you do is get the insurance, right? So, when everybody's like recession proof and all this, craziness, I'm like, dude, this whatever, man. It should already be done. So
yeah, but
Sean,
that's an issue. A lot of people don't do it. Yeah, but that
You're
is
right.
an issue.
Absolutely.
Recession proof. Yeah, another thing besides just recession proof, redundancy proof. I mean, a lot of business owners do not build redundancy, and so they rely on one person to do a critical business function. If that person suddenly disappeared, what would you do? That business function doesn't happen. So that's another reason, to just create layers in your organization that will. It's not dealing with recession, but it's dealing with staff loss. But similar types of ideas, right? Yeah.
Sure. So what's the difference between a VA and a freelancer, or someone on Fiverr, or someone on Upwork, or someone, you know what I'm getting at? Because, like, I'm not really good at websites, so I'm going to hire someone to build a web. So what I tell people is, do what you do best, outsource the rest. I can build a website, and I build a lot of websites. If it's something easy, if it's like the podcast website, I can knock that out quickly, easy, done. But there's other stuff like, how do I get an opt-in page or a lead page? I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm going to give that to somebody else. So what's the difference between a freelancer or somebody on Fiverr or Upwork and like a VA? Is it all the same, or is it completely different?
Well, essentially it's all the same. Okay, so I just use, for my company, we utilize the term virtual assistant, but our VAs are essentially freelancers too. They're independent contractors. The main difference between going to a freelance marketplace versus an agency, okay, that's the differing issue. It's not the actual person that's working for you. It's who you go to find that person. So you go to a freelance marketplace where you essentially do all the work. You post your job description, you evaluate, you get a ton of resumes, you evaluate them all, and you go through the vetting process, and you hire them, and you pay them through that freelance marketplace. Obviously, that freelance marketplace is getting a cut of the pay, right? Or you go through an agency like mine, and we are a full-service agency. So we will help you craft so you come to us and you tell us what you want. We do the work for you. We craft the job description. We source the candidates. We vet them. That means they go through, as any recruiter would, they would go through all of the background checks, both criminal and social media and reference checking. And we send you a handful of candidates. We walk you through the selection process. We help you onboard that VA. So we're there sort of through the entire process. We do all of the payments. So essentially, our clients come to us because they don't want the hassle, number one, of doing all of that recruitment work themselves. Number two, they want a security layer. So we are that security layer between them and the worker. If that worker leaves for some reason, an agency, many agencies are similar to our model, will have a no turnover guarantee, where we promise, we will pay to ensure that we have another worker working for you and get them onboarded as quickly as possible. So those are some of the differences between freelancer marketplaces, but it's really all about the amount of work that the employer wants to put in.
Gotcha.
But the worker is the same.
Yeah. Okay. So got it. So the platform is the difference maker, and because I know a couple of VAs. They're like, "Oh, I'll have my VA do it," and it seems like the myth around VA is like, "Oh, they just do some admin stuff, like push out emails, or they act as a publicist, or they cross I's and dot T's, or some tasks like that." But I feel like listening to you, it's more than that. It's taking things off of your plate that need to be taken off your plate, because you may not be the best person to do that. Like I said, I can cut a website, and it's not a big deal for me to do that. It might take me, like, for example, it took me, I think, 4 days to create this one video, and I was very meticulous, and I was really using Adobe After Effects. I was like, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get the timing and the words and the way it opens, and I got this huge plan in my head. 4 days, and I'm not like an hour a day. I mean, all day. Nothing got done. I was behind on so much stuff, but I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because I wanted to do it, right? I wanted to learn. I wanted to do it, and it's like literally the first time I ever used this platform. But I can pretty much put videos together and timeline stuff. And so I'm working on this video, and I'm getting super pissed. I'm like, how do people do this? Like, this is stupid. Like, I'm getting mad as hell. And I had to walk away from the computer at one point because I deleted something. I was like, no, how do I get it back? Then I had to go to YouTube tutorial, figure out how to get that back. And then I got that back, and then I had to watch another YouTube tutorial. So between executing and watching YouTube tutorials and Googling it and reading and then watching tutorials and doing and reading, it was a frustrating 4 days. The video turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not the best, but it was pretty good. It was kind of what I wanted. The ironic and funny part is I have a VA. I have not a VA, but a videographer on retainer. Very good friend of mine. He does all of my videography stuff. Everything. I send him something I want. He cuts it out in like a day. Like, done. And it's amazing. So I sent him the video, and I said, hey, tell me what you think. I made this video, and I think it's pretty good. And he goes, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, some timing is off, and some color schemes I wouldn't have used, and some other, words that I don't think the font shows up really good. But, I mean, it's pretty good. I was like, geez. I was like, hey, man, do me a favor. Here's what – and I sent him an email. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want. I thought these were the best clips, and he's pretty much got all my stuff. I said, man, I'd love to have a video presented and look this one way. I think it'd be pretty cool. And he goes, yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Let me see what I can come up with. Like 2 hours later, he created like the baddest video. I'm like, oh my God, 4 days, bro. 4 days spent doing this. And he laughs at me. He calls me. He goes, dude, I can't even do this through email. You literally 4 days? 4 days. I'm like, dude, this video was 4 days. He's like, dude, this video was shit. He's like, this is why I do what I do, You do what you do. Stay in your lane.
That's
I was
right.
like, yes, sir. He's like, this is why you pay me. And I was like, but I just wanted to do it. Like, I just wanted to see, and it is tough. It is tough. And he's like, you go on stage and you do your thing. I'll film it and create the videos. I don't want to be on stage. I don't want to talk to people on stage. That's not my thing. I want to be behind a camera, and I'll create the stuff for you. I'll make you look good. But it just goes to show, like, man, 4 days and nothing got done. I'm talking like 6-7 hours a day plugging away at this video. And he did it in 2 hours, 3 hours, boom, done. And it was it was way better than anything I could have come up with. And it captured exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Do what you're good at, and don't do what you're not good at. Outsource that to a VA. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I've been in the same position where I've tried to do everything and learn and thought I could learn everything. You notice my bio, I'm very much math brain. I'm not a creative. For me to do anything creative takes so long. I mean, it's ridiculous how long it takes. You give me something, logic, reasoning, or math, something like that, and I can do it in a second. But yeah, absolutely, I understand totally what you went through.
Yeah. So do what you do best and outsource the rest. I wonder, and it would be great because you have the degrees. I wonder if you have any case studies or data to show how much time is, and maybe you guys don't have this, and maybe this would be something cool for you guys to take on. Do you have any data? Do you have any case studies or examples of, and I just gave one, how much time is wasted not using a VA? As opposed to, I'll just do everything myself. Because you know how entrepreneurs are. I'm sure you and I are the same way as business owners and entrepreneurs. Well, maybe not because you came up with the VA company. But, I wanted to do everything myself. I'll just save my money and I'll just do it all. But we're not really saving money over time. Because time and money are two things that people willingly never give up. So if we're not going to spend the money, then we're going to obviously spend the time, and vice versa. If I think my time is more valuable, then I'm just going to spend the money to do it. And there are, like, I launch books for people, and I launch podcasts for people. This is what I do. I create, launch, and monetize podcasts and books. I will not do the editing of the book because it takes way too long. I have an outsourced editor that does that, and I do not create the cover. My videographer, who is also an amazing graphic designer and photographer, he does them all. And he does them in like a day. Like, it's crazy how much this guy can crank out. So I look at it as, I'm going to launch stuff. I have the marketing and everything else background. I'm not going to waste my time on that stuff because I know I'm not good at it. And I know I'm going to waste my time on it. And I'm not going to get done the things I need to get done. So I'm wondering if you have any case studies or any examples of how much time do we really waste going it alone and doing it ourselves versus if we go with a VA?
Yeah, so I don't have any case studies on time saved. Obviously I have case studies on how much money you can save, hiring a VA overseas versus locally. But one thing I can say is you will never be able to fully realize your potential as a business owner unless you are able to do what you just said, to look at what you're doing and carve out things that can go off, that you can hand off to somebody else so that you can focus on income producing tasks. But that's really the key factor there. But in terms of just, bottom line time saving, just like you went through your example of the video and creating the video, and that it took you 3 days versus somebody that took them 2 hours. That's across every, almost every task, every skill set. For instance, you could say it with Excel. Somebody that's going to sit there and try to create formulas in Excel and learn them. And think about the time saving it would give you if you just hired somebody that already knew it. and can go in there and do it. But, clearly it's going to be significant time savings.
Right. Very cool. Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. So the purpose of the show is about transformation and the transformational moments that change us and the transformational moments that we create for others. And I'm sure you have tons of examples and tons of case studies about how your VAs have transformed other people's businesses. Mm-hmm. I'm curious about your transformation. So what would you say is a transformational moment that changed your life and put you on the path to what you're doing today?
So I would say it's, similar to what we've just been talking about. When I realized that I couldn't do it all myself, and that if I didn't relinquish some control and trust others to help me in the things that I needed to get done for my business, then I wasn't going to be able to make it as a business owner. So I think when I finally realized that, because I'm a control freak, and, as we were just talking about, wanting to do everything myself. But when I started hiring people, it was really liberating for me. Allowing me to hand off things that, just were repetitive day-to-day stuff that took tremendous amount of time, or handing off stuff that I wasn't skilled enough to do, similar to what we were just talking about with, your video excursion, where I had to, spend hours and hours and days and trying to figure out how to do it, hand that off to somebody that already knows how to do it, or handing off things. And this is something that a lot of people don't think about, that, I realized is hand off things that you don't like doing. You may be the best, writer in the world. And I have a lot of clients that come to me and they say, listen, I'm a writer. I don't want someone doing my writing for me. Okay. They can do X, Y, and Z, but I don't want them doing my writing. And then, I sort of, talk to them and mentor them a little bit. Let somebody else get it started. Let somebody else do all of the research for the writing. Let them get a draft for you. And then take that draft and spend an hour to edit it, rather than you spending the 6 hours researching and writing. But, just offload the things that, that even if you like doing them, just that you're proficient at doing them, but let somebody else get the jump start for you. So I think that was, really my transformational moment when I realized that, that's what I needed to do in order to grow my own business, myself, professionally. And, the nice thing that came along with that for me was, because it was, all offshore staffing, I was able to do it and not go into debt at all for my business, be able to create reserves that if I was hiring locally, I wouldn't have been able to do. And I had, access to talent and skilled individuals that, to me, I felt were, equal to what I could have hired locally. So it was all a win-win for me.
I love it. I think that's very key there. We want to hold on to our business. We want to hold on to the things that we're doing. So I got it. It's not a big deal. I got it. Mm-hmm. But if we added up all the hours that we were sending out emails and doing follow-ups and I believe in a lot of automating too. There's a lot of processes that we do that we could absolutely automate and that we wouldn't need a VA, but at the same time, who's going to set that up? Are you going to set those up, or is the VA going to set those up, right? I mean, you literally could hire a VA, but look, automate my whole stuff and get back to me when you're done. You know what I mean? Like they could be doing that. So, I can think of so many applications for it, and just me being in the 4 businesses that I've created, how much time I spent designing stuff or creating stuff, and I'm like, this is so atrocious. I'm just gonna, that's how I found my guy, my designer. He does everything. He does my videos. He does my graphic design for my T-shirt company. He does my videos for my speaking and my audio. And I mean, he does all the book covers for people when I launch their books, and the podcast graphics for the podcast tiles we launched the podcast. And he does so much stuff. And I'm like, this is, but it comes easy to him. This is something that he does all the time. It's easy for him. He has the program, he has the tools, this is what he does. He's not doing anything else. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, do what you do best and outsource the rest. I mean, I live by that. It's just sometimes I think I can knock that out. It's fine. I can knock that out. You know, so I think that's where we get lost in our own head and get in our own way, preventing our success. Is that I guarantee you, if you freed yourself up, like, look, I've got this and this to do, I'm going to hand it off to somebody else so I can literally concentrate on this one thing because this is what I know I can do. I think would really start to grow a business. And it's so funny because you have to let go in order to receive, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. And it's a big problem for many, many people. Letting go.
Yeah. So in the time remaining that we have, I want to talk about how 24/7 VA helps the entrepreneur, the business owner, the podcaster. How can people get involved? Do you use, like you said, locally or nationally, globally? So why choose 24/7 VA?
Because, it's easy. You just come to us. You really don't have to do much except for talk to a client services representative, and they're going to walk you through the whole process, and we're going to make sure it is our job. First of all, it's a free service until you actually hire. So if clients come to us, we will create the job description, we'll source the candidates, we'll vet the candidates, we'll walk them through the selection process. They don't pay us a penny until they actually say, hey, you guys have actually found me somebody I think is worthy. And so they decide to hire. That's when it's just a weekly subscription service. So there's no long-term contracts or anything like that. We hope that they turn into long-term clients, but there's nothing long-term. You just pay. It's a week-by-week service. The first 2 weeks after you hire is considered a trial period, even though you're paying for those weeks. We do have an account manager, and it's our responsibility to ensure that we made that you made the right connection. So if you haven't, we're going to be switching VAs in and out during that first 2 weeks. That first 2 weeks is really very hands-on for you to find the right fit. Once that first 2 weeks is over and you say, yes, this is, you guys did a great job, we're there for the duration. Okay, so a year down the road, that worker may have a life event, and they may have to leave from working from you. We have a transition plan. We pull in, that worker is responsible for helping us select the next worker and onboarding them. So it's seamless to our clients. So we really feel we have a good model for those business owners or those professionals that really want a hands-off approach where really all that they're doing is selecting the person that's going to work for them and then communicating and managing them, on a day-to-day basis or week by week. But we're there in the background assisting so they can engage their account manager to help as much as they want.
Got it. Perfect. That seems really simple and really easy. Outstanding.
Yeah.
As we
I think
close
it is.
the show, it sounds like it is, absolutely. As we close the show, we always leave a takeaway for the audience. So what is your message, or what would be a takeaway from this episode, if they listen to nothing else that we've talked about, what is your takeaway for the Life Transformation Radio listeners?
The takeaway would be use this time during COVID lockdowns, and I know that we're all coming out of it, but use the time wisely, number one, and reinvest in your business. And if that means allowing somebody, hiring somebody else to help you develop different components of that, then do so. And, definitely, go to a reputable, if you're looking to hire, especially overseas workers, go to a reputable agency like 24/7 VA. Don't try to, I would not go on the freelance marketplaces right now just because there's a lot of scammers right now. Many people around the world have lost or been paused on their primary employment. And as soon as that primary employer comes calling, they're going to be gone. Okay, so make sure that you are knowledgeable about that.
Yeah, and like you said, the difference between you and Fiverr and Upwork is you guys have vetted everybody, and maybe those other platforms have not. So, absolutely, All right. Thank you so much. I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And I wish you the best in the rest of 2020.
Yeah, Sean, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. Absolutely. And if I need anybody, I will definitely be in touch for sure.
Excellent. I look forward to hearing from you very soon.
All right. Outstanding. Life Transformation Radio, an amazing guest impacting the world around her. If anything has resonated with our conversation with Catherine vanVonno today about 24/7 VA, hiring a VA, and when you should, please connect with her at her website link inside the show notes at 20FOUR7VA.com. 24/7 VA. Social media links, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, right there in the show notes. Connect with her. Send her a friend request, letting her know that you listened to her episode of Life Transformation Radio. And with that, I close the show by saying live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.